and platelets. D, red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, and platelets. Okay. Okay, question 14, let me take it. The components of blood in man are A, red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, and water. B, red blood cells, white blood cells, and plasma. C, red blood cells, white blood cells, and D, red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, and platelets. The major components of human blood, there are 4 in number. The first one is the red blood cells, followed by the white blood cells, the platelets, and plasma. It most complete 4. So now let's take the options and check which of them is correct. We have the red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, and water. Here, plasma is already making up almost 90% of blood cells in human being, which is water. So you representing water here is out of it. So this is wrong. This contains only 3, remaining 1. Then B, we have red blood cells, white blood cells, and plasma. Again, one thing is C, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. This is also wrong. It just contains 3. Okay? The correct option here is D. Option D is the correct answer, which says red blood cells. The red blood cells, it does not have any nucleus, so it helps it to form any shape it wants to form, and then help in easy transportation, allowing oxygen to be there. So it is this red blood cell that carries oxygen because more space for oxygen is created. Then the white blood cells help us to fight diseases. Then we have the plasma, which contains water. It is the liquid, the medium through which these red blood cells is being transported. So we have the platelets. The platelets here helps in clotting, blood clotting. If you have injury, what makes it heal fast to stop blood from flowing is the platelet actually that is there. So for human blood to be complete, these 4 components must be present. So the correct answer here is D, which is red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, and platelets. So let's go to question number 15. Question number 15. Question number 15 says, the development of big muscles by a wrestler is an example of A, acquired characteristics, B, inherited characteristics, C, mutation, D, atrophication. Let's take the question 15 again. It says the development of big muscles by a wrestler is an example of A, acquired characteristics, B, inherited characteristics, C, mutation, D, atrophication. You know, if you see the wrestlers, you see them, they have big muscles. They were not there from birth. They were not there from birth. This is what they did as a result of training. Constant training will help build your muscle. So it is not an inherited property. It's not what you inherit from your parents. So it is an example of acquired. It was acquired through constant training, gym, and the rest of it. Then the inherited characteristics. Inherited characteristics are those characteristics that we got from our parents as a result of the gene that is passed through us. What are genes? Genes are those parts of chromosomes that carries the DNA that is responsible for our various behavior, makeup, or characteristics. The way we look, our skin color, our height, whether we're going to be tall, whether we're going to be short, it is what we do, that it is the gene that we inherited that define us as human beings. So there are those parts of our chromosomes that helps in getting these characteristics. We inherit it from our parents. Skin color, eye color, our height, whether we're going to be tall or short, fat or slim. So it is inherited. So you see these muscles, they are not part of inherited characteristics. So this makes this wrong. While this is acquired, constant training and environment. Constant training and environment, that's what brings about this. Muscles, development of muscles. Then mutation, what is mutation? Mutation is even totally out of it. Mutation is the change in the shape of our DNA. Sudden change in the DNA, the way the DNA appears, it is called mutilation. For instance, our hemoglobin, the sickle cell is in form of sickle shape. It's supposed to be round, but it becomes a sickle, and that is what makes it is a change in the DNA. That is mutation, variations in the DNA. Then atrophication. Atrophication is just simply the shrinking of muscles. The shrinking of muscles, instead of growing, it is opposite of growth. Our muscles grow, but when the muscles begins to shrink, that phenomenon is termed atrophication. So the correct answer here is acquired characteristics. It was not there ab initio, but gradually through constant trainings, you see the wrestler begins to develop muscles. So question 16. Question 16 says, question 16. Lack of nucleus. Lack of nucleus is a feature in A, osteocytes, B, neuron, C, erythrocytes, D, leukocytes. Leukocytes. Let me take the question again. Lack of nucleus is a feature in A, osteocytes, B, neuron, C, erythrocytes, D, leukocytes. The correct answer here is erythrocyte, which is red blood cell. Red blood. The osteocyte is the bone cells. These are cells found in the bone, and they have a very developed nucleus, so this makes it wrong. Neuron is a cell found in the nerve, our nerve cell. nerve cells. Again, it has nucleus. Erythrocyte is the only red blood nucleus, and that is why you see that erythrocyte can be formed in any shape. It can take the form of any shape, allowing it to swing, to move within the plasma. So because of the absence of this nucleus, that is what gives way for it to be able to carry oxygen, because there is more space. Absence of nucleus means more space to carry oxygen. Then the leukocyte is the white blood cells. The white blood cells. And it has, there's presence of nucleus. It has nucleus. It has nucleus. Okay, let's quickly go to question 17. Question 17. Question 17, which is a universal recipient of blood belongs to blood group A, O, B, AB, C, B, D, A. Okay, before I take the question, I want to tell you that if you want more questions, always click the like button and subscribe for you to constantly have us here. So let's go. 17. A universal recipient of blood belongs to blood group A, O, B, AB, C, B, D, A. The correct answer here is blood group AB. You know why? Blood group AB has no antibodies. It does not have antibody A, and antibody B. No antibodies. Blood group O, it's called a universal donor. It gives blood to every other blood group, but cannot accept from them except from blood group O itself. This one accept from blood group O and blood group B only, while this accept from blood group O and blood group A only. Reason because this one has antibodies A. So if it receive from blood group from A, there will be blood clot and the person can die. While this one has both of them, that's why it's able to give to any of them, but cannot receive from them. It has no antibodies. It has no antibodies, so it's able to give, to donate, and that's why blood group O is called universal donor. Universal donor. But blood group AB is called universal recipient. So it's able to receive from all blood groups, but cannot give out. It can only give out to blood group AB itself, but cannot. So it receives from every other blood group, but cannot donate to other blood group. So let us go to question 18. Question 18. Question 18 says, the internal structure of a leaf that has larger air space is A, palisade mesophyll, B, epidermis, C, spongy mesophyll, and D, vascular bundles. Vascular bundles. Okay. The internal structure of the leaf that has larger air space is A, palisade mesophyll, B, epidermis, C, spongy mesophyll, and D, vascular bundles. The correct answer here is spongy mesophyll, because here the cells are loosely packed and thereby creating large air spaces for air to flow. It helps in the transportation of carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, this spongy mesophyll. For this one, the air is tightly packed, so that makes it wrong. Epidermis, vascular bundle, same thing. So the correct answer here is spongy mesophyll. Number 19. An example of arboreal animal is A, squirrel. Squirrels. B, duck. C, pig. D, rat. Before I proceed, let's look at the meaning of arboreal. Arboreal has to do with anything aerial, on the air, on the tree. So once you hear arboreal, what comes to your mind is tree. Tree. An example of animals that are arboreal are those animals that live on the trees. For instance, the birds, the monkeys. You see them, they spend most of their life on the tree. So let's take a closely look at the options we have here. We have squirrels. Yes, squirrels live on trees. So the correct answer here is squirrel. Squirrel. Duck is water. They swim in water. So this is wrong. Pig too is wrong. And rat is also wrong. So the only correct answer here is squirrel, because squirrels live on tree. Quick note, don't forget, anytime you hear the word arboreal, we know we have aquatic, which duck is. Duck is aquatic. Animals that live in water. Terrestrial animals, they live on land. Sometimes some pig also live in water. They can swim in water. So, but we have, it's mostly terrestrial. Terrestrial, they live on land. Same thing with rats. So rats can sometimes climb up to the trees, but they are not arboreal animals because most of their lifetime is spent on land. So this makes them terrestrial animals. Question 20, which will be the last question we'll be taking for today. The last question we'll be taking for today is question 20. Question 20, which says, the movement of sugars from leaf to other parts of plant is A, B, transpiration, C, transportation, transportation. And D is translocation. 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 Okay, the movement of sugars from leaf to other parts of the plant is A, glutation, B, transpiration, C, transportation, D, translocation. The correct answer here is translocation. Translocation. What is translocation? Translocation is the movement of food from the part of the plant. Sugar here is food. The movement of the food from the plant to other parts of the plant, such as the roots, the stem, the leaves. That is translocation. Glutation is the escape of excess water droplets from the leaves, and it happens at night for glutation, the process in which liquid water leaves the part of the leaves, and usually happens in the night. Then transpiration is the release of water from the stomata of the leaves to the atmosphere during the daytime. So transportation here is even out of it. This is just a general English term referring to movement of goods and services from one place to another. So it has nothing to do with this concept, the movement of sugars. So the only correct answer here is translocation. So this brings us to the end of today's class. Remember to always like, comment, and even share the videos so that you'll be getting more updates from us and more exam tips from us. So before I round up, let me quickly give us a recap of what we have done so far. We talked about the part of the urinary, part of the male reproductive system that is referred to as the urinogenital duct, which I said it is the urethra, because why? Urethra helps to carry urine and also the same time carry semen during ejaculation. Then we talked about gene. We talked about inherited properties of a wrestler, and I told us that it is not inherited, but it is acquired. Acquired in the sense that it is what you gradually learn to do. For instance, the way you speak. The way you speak cannot be inherited. I can decide to change my way of speaking by training myself to speak well. If I want to speak through my nose, it's my concern. So it is not inherited at all. It's not inherited, but it is acquired. Another thing that is also acquired is the muscle built. Those wrestlers, you see them every time they are gymming, carrying heavy weight so that they will have muscles. It is being developed over time and not an inherited property. I went further to tell us the meaning of gene. I said gene is just the part of the chromosomes that helps to carry the trait that we inherited. And that trait is called allele. For instance, if you are a tall parent and you have that career of tallness and you marry somebody that is short with short gene, you see that there are probabilities that you give birth to both tall and short children at the same time. So that if you possess that trait of tallness, which is called the allele of tallness, there's higher possibility that you also give birth to a tall person. Partners have those traits. And this brings us to the end of this class. I still remain your favorite biology tutor, Mrs. Megwai Rachel. I hope you do enjoy the class. Please like, share, comment, so that we'll get more life updates and more tips to pass your exam. All the same, I wish you all the best. For those of you preparing for exam, always visit our channel and subscribe. God bless you. Until next time. Bye.